What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 203 of the Bench Time Podcast with Todd and Brett Wiley of Wiley's Scale Modeling. So, it's been a little bit, but we got a lot done. We've been working a lot. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Say it with me. Yes, we've been working a lot lately.
Yes, we've been working a lot.
So, yeah, I mean, I was off for some time from work too, and I spent that time obviously with the family, but then I busted out that Walters Cornerstone kit.
The Merchant Road.
Merchant Road 1.
Yeah. Is that 1?
I think so. You did too.
Okay. I did too, and I have another one up here.
Yeah, it's 1.
5.
It's 1.
Okay. I didn't start the Merchant Road 5. I'm still doing this freaking train station. That'll be a while.
You know,
but your Merchant Road turned out nice, dude.
Yeah. I gotta add some. I'm gonna add some sidewalk details, but I'm gonna wait to add them until it's down. I know there was someone that commented that normally on a street scene you'd see a bunch of stuff on the sidewalk and on the front of the buildings, but I don't want to do that because we're gonna move it around until it's in place. I don't want it bumping around and knocking details off.
Yeah, I get that.
So I'm just gonna.
I don't know why people don't get that.
I'm just gonna plant it plant the details on the sidewalk once it's in place.
Well, most of the buildings I built, yeah, they would look awesome to take a picture of them and put them up on Facebook for everybody to see. But by adding lots of detail to it and then taking a photo. But you know what's going to happen is there's pieces, there's parts of people. They're all going to break off, fall off. Then you're going to have to repair the damn thing anyways. You want to get it in its permanent spot before you stick in all the detail. I mean, you can put some on, but I've avoided putting on a lot of detail, even when I'm taking photos, before it goes to the layout now anymore. I bet you down there, of all the buildings we've done, probably 75, 80% of them don't have any extra details on that could possibly fall off for later, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's because most of them have fallen off.
That's true. I spent that one whole afternoon out there putting stuff back on.
But I mean, I've learned our lesson. We bang them around and they whatever. So even things like I want to do little annex shacks attached to buildings, and I want to add all that stuff, but I don't want to do it until it's down where we're going to put it, because then I can do all that right there on the spot.
Right, exactly. And you can define your detail scene. So
yeah, I don't know what the scene's going to look like finished when it's not completed.
Exactly.
So, anyways, not to get stuck on that, but yeah, I mean, that's what I... Yeah, I think it looks good. It fits our layout well, and I did that hand-painted...
I like the billboard.
What?
I like the billboard and the hand-painted candy sign.
The billboard is some kind of gum.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I was wondering what that was.
Ginger something gum. Sounds disgusting.
Yummy. Yeah,
what's it? Hang on, I'm going to scoot over. What's it? I'm going to read what it says.
Scoot over on your new chair?
Yeah, in my new chair. I like it because I don't have to get up. I can just scoot everywhere now.
That's nice.
Like a kid, I just propel myself around the concrete floor.
Yeah, I do that in my office sometimes at work.
Yeah. It's actually called Guru Cola Gum. I don't even know what that is.
Yummy.
What is Guru Cola Gum?
I don't know, some old shit from the way back when nobody was making good gum. I don't know. Maybe it's excellent. It might be the best thing in the world that just went out.
Guru Cola Gum is essentially just a name for cola nut gum.
Well, I don't really know what that is.
I don't really.
What's cola nut gum?
I don't want nut gum.
Me neither.
Which is a chewing gum made from the cola nut, a seed from the
What is that?
A seed from the cola tree, native west to Africa. Guru is, in this context, simply is a variation of cola, and refers to the same source material. What?
That doesn't explain shit, man.
What does it taste like?
Is that AI that's telling that story?
Well, it's a Google suggested search. Which, okay, so first of all, AI is not making things up. It's querying
I didn't
it.
say it.
Oh.
Sometimes, though, it jumbles things up.
Okay. Not the search labs from Google. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyways, here, I said, what does Guru Cola Gum taste like? It tastes like a mix of cola and bubblegum with a sweet, slightly fruity flavor. Well, then find a more appealing name than nut gum. Like, if it tastes like cola and bubblegum with a slightly fruity flavor, name it something not disgusting.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Great. Fruity cola.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fruity cola gum.
Yeah.
But it doesn't explain the cola. Does it taste like cola?
You know what? You know
what
what?
The hell's a cola tree?
You know what categories of gums are very disappointing? Any kind of gum that comes in the paper pack in a stick. Like winter mint, double mint.
And the worst ever, tea berry.
Juicy fruit.
Did you ever have tea berry gum, Brett?
No, because I wasn't born in the 1970s.
No, dude, they sell that shit somewhere. One of these nostalgia candy shops or something.
Right, exactly. I haven't, and that's why I haven't had it, because I didn't grow up when you could buy a stick of gum for a penny.
Oh, okay.
You know,
well, it's disgusting as shit. It used to come in packs. You get like 5 sticks to 5 or 10 sticks or whatever the hell it is to your pack.
Anyways, anything like the Big Red or Juicy Fruit or Winter Double Mint or any of those, they have their flavor for about 20 seconds.
And then the gum after like 30 minutes.
It's like chewing on a marble.
Or it either is like chewing on a marble or it dissolves.
Yeah.
You ever have the gum dissolve and then you're like spitting it out, right?
So you're gonna laugh.
In your face.
You're gonna laugh about this, and don't try this at home, everyone listening. But when I was in high school and middle school, you could take the Big Red packet, like the foil it came in, and flatten it out, and you could lick the back, like the part that touched the gum, and stick it to like your skin. And if you leave it on long enough, it would like put a big red burn mark on your skin. It would burn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I never knew.
Yeah. I remember
many kids would do something like that, you know?
We would sit around and we would leave it on and see who could leave it on the longest. It would burn. I remember vividly there was a kid at my lunch table that did it, and he burnt a red rectangle into his forehead the one day. It did. It would leave a big red like patch on your body.
That's bizarre.
I
never knew that.
Has nothing to do with model building, but it all stemmed from that sign I built. And then I think Matt Hankins actually on that Roast My Build group, which I did post a picture in there. Matt, the guy on the picture, must be like the guy that made the gum, or old companies like that WB Mason. They put the picture, the office supply company.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm gonna pin that comment. We're gonna come back to that. Old companies would put like the founder's face in like a pencil drawing or an old photo in their logo. So there's a picture of the guy. He has like red hair, looks like a ginger, like me. So Matt Hankins said, kind of something about how it was funny how I put my own face on the billboard. It was something funny about it. Like everything was good about the bill, but the fact that you put your own face or whatever on your billboard, it was something funny like that. So I had to get a good laugh out of that. Now that made
that billboard you made with the dude's face on it.
Yeah.
The fuck does he have to do with the gum?
Well, I think it's the guy that made it, because the top of it says something about something Fleers. The guy's name was like Fleer.
I wonder if that's like Fleer. Like, remember the baseball cards?
If that made
and they were made by Fleer. Maybe they came with the gum piece.
Hang on,
the gum and the baseball?
Let me roll.
You were too
young. No, I remember that. Hang on, let me see something.
That gum in the baseball packs is just
It's called Fleer's gum. Hang on, I want to look that up.
Yeah.
It has to be. I'm looking it up. Did it start as a gum company?
Oh no.
It's Fleer's gum.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But I'm like, I know the Fleer used to make sporting cards, for sports. The cardboard cards, collector cards, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the same company. Maybe they had something to do with putting this.
Fleer baseball cards started as a gum product.
Is that right? No shit, I was wrong.
The Fleer.
I wasn't wrong.
Fleer Company competed with Gowdy Gum Company by selling baseball cards with their gum beginning in the 1920s.
Oh wow, that is so bizarre.
I didn't even think about.
That must be Fleer on their sign.
It is.
Yeah, he needs a haircut or shave or some shit.
He looks like a mess.
But he does. And the so wow, now that gum that came in sports cards
was awful.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. As a kid, I chewed tons of it.
It's second. Yeah. It's second the worst to Bazooka bubblegum.
Oh yeah. Or double bubble.
Oh god.
When I played baseball as a kid, man, before the game, they had like these concession stands that were made out of like a aluminum shed that you would put your lawnmower in.
Yeah.
And they cut a hole in the side of the shed. They had two old ladies sitting there, or usually our moms, and they would take turns running the snack bar. And they would put like a fountain soda machine that was made by 7-Up in it. It was the old style fountain soda machine, and well, I don't know how old, but old back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and they would have, but it was like 7-Up. It was horrible stuff. It was cola. You had your choice of cola, 7-Up, orange soda, and maybe something else. And then as kids, we would ask for a suicide, which was a little bit of each one of those sodas all in one cup. Okay, we'd do this while we waited before our baseball game. We would drink these things. You could take $1. Your parents could give you $1. Or 75 cents or whatever before the game or when you leave to go to play your baseball game. You could buy with that $1. I could buy like 3 sodas and 3 packs of baseball cards and some candy, like 50 cents worth of penny candy. You could fill a bag full of shit, right?
Yeah. Your dentist loves it.
Yeah, and you'd sit there and eat all that crap and drink that stuff and chew that shitty-ass gum all the way until your ball game started. And by the time your ball game started, every kid's freaking bouncing off the wall.
This is very reminiscent of the last podcast we did where you talked about how much Red Bull we drank before hockey games.
Yeah, but it wasn't too far removed, actually. I mean, you were all hyped up. No wonder we were hitting doubles and triples and shit all the time. It was every team was like that.
That's funny.
The kids and the moms are the ones selling it to us.
Yeah.
They knowing they're going to take their kids home and they're going to be bouncing off the walls later.
That's funny.
Or taking a big nap on the sugar down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Huh. Well, now we got a little bit.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Well, hey, we connected the. That's pretty cool. The billboard on my building I did.
That's the story.
The billboard on the building I did ends up being part of the baseball card company, which is pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, you know what else I saw? And I'm going to do it on my building, my Cornerstone building I did. I'm sorry, not Cornerstone. Merchants Row. It's a Cornerstone kit. Anyways, I took that candy store, the soda and candy.
Yeah.
I took the idea from a Sharpie image. I think it was from Sharpie. One of those. I did a quick search. I found a cool photo of like a street row, corner store, and it had a candy store. And above it, there was a little sign hanging out that the second story, there was a dentist's office above it. So the first floor, main store, was a candy and soda store.
Yeah.
And right above it was a dentist's office.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, that's a cool idea because
Yeah.
it's such a tiny little detail because it's not a big sign.
Well, it's for irony things.
But it's one of the it's kind of ironic that there's this candy shop below a dentist's office, and I saw that and was like, I gotta add that. So I'm gonna get a little. I'm probably gonna print it out, and I'm just gonna paste it.
That's a great idea.
So I'm gonna put a dentist's office above the candy store, and it's gonna be a little tiny sign, so it's not gonna be very obvious. But if you look close, you're gonna be like, oh damn, that's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, that's just a little tiny.
When I ran all those years, we ran an advertising program. Okay. And,
This was my dentist you're talking about. Yeah.
It is. And I went across. The dentist was literally right across the highway from the hockey rink, right? And so I went over there and I talked to them, and I got them to sponsor a banner ad on the side of our wall inside the arena, inside the rink.
Yeah.
For their advertising, because somebody's gonna lose a tooth eventually.
Yeah.
Or need some dental work.
Well, and it's also smart.
And you got all those
kids
coming in and out of there, right? For all sports. So you know what? It was like perfect. But yeah, the dentist's office advertising at a hockey rink is awesome. And then I also had a chiropractor that I had that he put a big banner up for us too.
Yeah.
Now he played hockey there, but I was like, he came into the office one day. I was like, hey, how about doing a banner? You're probably gonna get some business out of it and everything.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's a great idea. But yeah, anyhow, no, hey, the other on that model of yours, you have like 3 or 4 other stores there.
I didn't finish them all.
I was gonna say, you gonna give them like a name, or they're just gonna be blank?
So let me look at it. The little slim one between the candy store and that white shop, the white storefront shop I did the the middle building's white brick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that just generic. No.
Yeah.
The little thin building in between the white brick one.
Oh.
I'm gonna leave that one just generic. I'm not gonna name it.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a thing.
A storefront.
The middle one is gonna be Sanborn Coffee. Like a coffee shop, because we have the Sanborn Coffee warehouse and like
from the font.
Yeah, we have the Sanborn Coffee like depot building. So I'm gonna make it connect basically on the other side of the layout, and you have the Sanborn Coffee shipping and receiving place, and then you're gonna have the Sanborn Coffee coffee shop.
Yeah, so if you're paying real close attention on the layout, you can interconnect the two.
It's probably going to be, instead of calling it a coffee shop, I think I'm just going to call it Sanborn Cafe. But because I looked up some images of coffee shops from the 30s and 40s, and most of them weren't called like today, where you got all these fancy coffee shops. They didn't call it that. Most of them, I mean, there were a few, but most of them didn't just specialize in coffee. Most of them had a cafe, and you get your breakfast and lunch there. So I'm going to make the Sanborn Cafe in the white building, and then the next one is a gray, like bigger block looking building.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it into a bank. I'm going to put a little sign out front, just make a bank name. And then the end one, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. It'll be something. I'll come up with something creative. So, yeah. But,
nice. And
that's another thing is we think, like that one I'm going to leave unnamed, we think that you have to have, like, all the kits that come out and all the buildings that we do, they all have it's part of marketing their kits. They put a cool name with the building and whatever.
I don't want the names of my stores and stuff to be the same as everybody else's.
Well, no, not that. I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say there's some buildings that you can leave that, like, you can leave them unnamed.
Yeah.
It's like if you go through any town, there's always buildings that just don't have a sign out front. It's just
want anybody to know what the hell goes on in that place.
Yeah, it's a front for something.
Like warehouses and shit like that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you go through any town, there's always even on your main streets, there's always buildings and shops that don't have a big sign out front, or maybe they're not even a shop. It could just be an apartment stuck between two buildings.
Right, exactly.
So you don't have to name every single building. Like you don't have to have, and it's okay. I mean, if you do, it's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're looking at any town, there's always some kind of weird building that doesn't have a name.
That's a good point. And there's another option is you don't have to give your storefront a name. If it's an actual storefront, big or small, you could just put like on the inside, like for lease.
Yeah.
Or with signs in the window.
Like it's vacant.
Lease, or stick a board over top of the window.
Yeah.
Saying, and then on the board, a sign like diagonal.
Condemned.
Like, yeah, condemned. That's a good one. Or just for, like I said, for rent, for lease, storefront for rent, office space.
Anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So it was just,
I don't see enough of that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, every town's got it.
What? Right.
So, yeah. So I was doing that, and then
you modelers, the modelers could put boards on the front, right? And then get some like yellow tape, yellow masking tape. They make it by Tamiya. They make some real super thin masking tape. Just cut a piece of it off and slice it in half and make it even thinner, and then stretch it across the front of the building or apartment like it's a police crime scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, anything.
But yeah.
So
it's just a thought.
Yeah. So I did that.
It turned out good. Yeah.
Thanks. I did that, and then this weekend I started putting track down. So my fingertips hurt because I got those godforsaken track connectors.
Yeah.
And I think we heard this last time when we were putting track down. There's probably a tool that you can use to push the track connector onto the track and whatever. But I just use my fingertip and I just jam it on.
Now, I do have a tool. If you want to come over and borrow it, it's when you put the track spikes down. Did you put any spikes down?
Yeah, I have a tool for that.
It pushes the spikes right into the hole.
Yeah, it's a dowel rod.
Well, okay. This holds the spike in it, and you just push it down.
I don't need that.
You put the spike, push it down in. I did it when I did the hand lead track.
Yeah. You know how I am.
I know.
I'm not a tools guy. I just was like, man, this hurts my fingers. So I went over and I grabbed the dowel rod. Now I just use a little 4-inch dowel rod to push the spike down.
Well, it has no purpose other than that. So that's why I said if you want to come over and get it.
That's fine. I mean, if I'm coming that way, I will. That's fine. I'm not saying it's not a great product.
I'm just explaining it to you. I'm trying to find the damn thing right now.
I'm just a man of simplicity, and I'm pretty thrifty, so I just don't think to look or ask for a tool like that. I just use a dowel rod.
That's fine.
But so I got about I don't know. I'd say I got about 20 feet of track down. I got 2 switches hooked up already, or whatever you call them, switches.
Right.
What's the other word? Not a switch. Turnouts, something like that. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever your heart fancies. I got 2 of them down. So yeah, I mean, we're ready to roll. The only thing I noticed, and I gotta buy, is the DCC power cab thing we have. I have to get
a book for that, by the way.
Yeah, the only thing I have to get, we must have in the chaos of tearing down, we must have gotten rid of or thrown out with the stuff that we destroyed. The little what?
Oh no.
No, the little wire connector, the 2-prong, the plug-in that goes into where you would plug the track into the terminal on that board. That little plastic piece is missing. And I know I had it connected to those wires that were underneath the old layout. And I think it just got tossed. But I found them. So get this, you're going to laugh. Surprise, surprise. The model railroading stores sell them, and they're like specific to that power cab unit.
Yeah. Right.
And they're they're more than twice, they're 3 times as much for a little tiny plastic connector.
Right.
But if you look at it and you pull the number off of it and you search that part number, they make them for other electronics. Like they're not specific to that power cab unit or model railroading. So you can pick them up online from like just electronics supply stores for like $1.90.
Huh? I'm sorry, but our modeling community has manufacturers in it that are truly out to fuck people.
Well,
they are.
The thing is, you can buy it from like that brand. It's just like any normal part. You can buy that part full price, or you can look around and you're like, oh, that electronic part, they also use it for other electronics, and you can buy it cheaper if you just don't buy the brand that's for that thing. It's the same electronic connector.
I get that.
It's a 2-pin connector. So anyways, long story short, I got to buy another one of those, but I found them. They're not too much. I'm just going to buy one and snap it on. Right. But yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just, I think it got tossed with the old stuff we had.
It's the same with a lot of products, man. It's almost, to me, it feels almost criminal.
Nah, it's not. It's good business if you get people that are not going to research it and they want to pay.
I guess you got a point.
If I was selling it and I'm like, shit, I can just sell this part for $8 and it only cost me 75 cents to buy a big container of them. Right. Or it's 75 cents a piece when I buy 100 in a container, but I'm going to turn around and sell them for $8. So anyways, so I'm going to buy one of those and hook it up. But that's the same with like anything, Dad, like car parts, anything.
I know. I get it.
So, yeah.
I get it.
So we just need to get that little piece and then we'll have the trains running. And but I got I got enough track to finish most of it. So I think today I'm going to do a little bit more track. I do think I need to order another pack of like 5 pieces of flex track.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to get another small pack of flex track just to finish off the other loop. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait till obviously I run out, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be just a hair short. So,
right.
Yeah.
I got more foam out in the car. More of the foam insulation board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So I got picks up some of that at Lowe's. I needed to use a piece for my home, a small piece, and instead of buying for $10, it starts going up. It's really getting expensive.
That's expensive foam.
$10. Remember those little? You remember Lowe's does it. I don't know if Home Depot does, but they have what's called a project board.
Yeah, it's like 2x4.
2 foot, but it's 2 by 2. It's 2 foot by 2. They're 2 foot by 2 foot. It's perfectly square. They have them in stacks in the little cardboard display case and everything right there, or display box in the aisle. Anyhow, they're 2 foot by 2 foot. They're $10. They used to be $6.99. Now they're $9.99. Okay, so they're $9.99 a piece, and it's 2 foot by 2 foot. Now I bought this is 1-inch thick. I got a 4 foot by 8 foot section of the foam. That's a extruded insulation board foam, and it was $30 for a sheet. Right now, you're sitting there looking at that and going, "Wow, that's expensive," and it is. But that's 4 foot by 8 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. If I bought a couple of those project boards at $10 each, I would 10, 20. It would cost me, well, $80. $80. instead of $30.
Yeah.
So I bought the whole thing for $30, knowing we're going to have to use some on our layout anyways. And I only needed like a 2 foot by 4 foot section for what I wanted to do at the house. And then I had the other 3 sections of 2 foot by 4 foot that that are out in my car now to bring over to work on, to put with the layout. But I figure, you know what? I might if I gotta spend $20, I might as well spend the extra $10 and get the 4x8 section.
Yeah.
And have it cut down. And but the foam is getting outrageously expensive. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just like everything else.
But no, I mean we're talking about literally a 40% markup from a year ago.
Yeah.
Is there a shortage somewhere, or
I don't know.
Is it some production of it? I mean, I don't know what they make that out of. I'm sure there's petroleum or something based in it in the insulation. I don't know how they make that stuff or what it consists of, but I know it's polyurethane.
I don't know what it's made of.
I'm sure they use petroleum in some way. So, what's involved? But
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm trying to, say, the foam's not getting any cheaper. But it does do wonders for the layout when you use it. So, rather than using freaking cardboard and plaster Paris and all that crap.
Yeah, it's an excluded polystyrene.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Polystyrene, not polyurethane, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, all I know is it puts off a heck of a lot of smoke when you drop a piece of hot solder on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Well, I probably shouldn't breathe that in. Hey, here's another pleasing scent that we like to always talk about. I like the smell of solder.
Can you?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to smell it, but when you're soldering, it puts off that little puff of smoke.
Yeah.
And I try to hold my breath, but it still leaves a scent in the room, and and I don't hate it. It's not. I don't know what it is. It's like it's probably the flux because I buy the solder that has the flux in it, and it probably is the flux burning more than the solder because that's just soft metal.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's probably that flux that's in the solder. But I don't know. It puts off a weird, oddly satisfying. I think it's like the smell of me doing something manly. I'm like, yeah, I'm burning this metal, melting metal.
That's it. Might be no, even when you're like burning wood, like a wood burner or something like that.
Yeah.
You get the smell, and you're like, oh, Remember the old, who was that guy in the Tool Time TV show?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's something in my caveman brain. It's like it's like anything you're doing with your hands or building something like fresh lumber smells good, or when you cut lumber, when you cut it with a saw, you're like, that fresh cut lumber smells good. Whatever it is, I think it's like that caveman brain in you where you're like, oh, I'm building something. I'm building. I like that. So, anyways, yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm doing. I got some track laid down. Like I said, I'm going to put some more down today. Even though we don't have that.
I'm going to be working here.
Even though we don't have that connector for the power cab.
Yeah.
Last night when I was goofing around down here, I did figure out a way to jerry rig the power cab up to the track.
Yeah.
Not a permanent solution, but it'll work. Because I'm impatient, it'll work enough to do a test run of the track on the section I have done, just to make sure I don't have any sections I gotta fix and make a little smoother or whatever. So,
right.
I think later I will hook that up and give it a test run, even though it's not a permanent fix, just to make sure all my parts, all my sections that I soldered together and laid down aren't gonna derail, or it's not at a weird turn radius that's not gonna derail my cars or be a, unrealistic turn. So yeah.
Sure. Huh.
So that's pretty
Okay.
much what I got going on. So that's really all I've been working on the last couple weeks. Was that Cornerstone? I mean the Merchant's Row kit, and then the track. Oh, also exciting news! I bought a chair, which my dad alluded to earlier.
No,
So since we moved into this house, I've been torturing myself with that godforsaken metal folding chair, and
I can't believe you even sat.
dude,
I couldn't have did that for 3 minutes.
I sat in it for 8 months
shit.
down here, and it
I don't
was
know how you did.
because I'm like a martyr because I didn't want to buy it. Because like I told you earlier, like I said earlier about the tools, I'm like stingy. So I'm like,
Well, I know.
chairs are, even a cheap one. I'm like, it's like $40. I don't want to go buy that. Whatever.
You've been less stingy.
What?
You've been less stingy lately.
Well, I was stingy earlier the last couple years because
Getting ready to get your house. Yeah,
I was saving up for a house. We were paying off our current mortgage. Like we were trying to pay off a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still ingrained in me. Like, I have this is a side story. I have a pair of running shoes. Oh, I didn't talk about WB Mason. I said I was going to talk about that. All right, let me finish my running story first. I have a pair of shoes I have, and they gotta have over 800 miles on them. They're awful. And I was today.
And you're not, other people would say that and it would be an exaggeration. But if you're saying you have over 800 miles on a pair of sneakers, it's not an exaggeration. You actually run. How many miles do you think you've run since you started becoming an avid?
Oh, here I'll tell you.
Runner. Oh, shit, you have that?
I have that. I use a Strava.
Okay.
So it tells.
I mean, since you started running.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a second. It tells you your lifetime stats.
Okay.
I pull it up
crazy.
In 1 second here. Let me see how much a shoe, and it tracks my shoes. All right, so I was over exaggerating. These shoes have 433 miles on them.
Still, man.
But they're beat. They got a hole in the toe. They're nasty looking. And even today when I was running, my buddies were like, "Brett, your shoes they're horrific looking. How do you run in those?" And I was like, "Well, they didn't fall off my feet yet, so like I'm not buying a new pair until I can't put them on."
How many miles did you run today, just for a laugh?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Just for fun with your buddies.
Well, so this morning I ran 16 miles, and it wasn't just 16 miles. It was up in the mountain.
That hurts just to think about it.
So 16 miles, and we had 3,100 feet of elevation climbing. So
God.
In 16 miles, we had pretty much concentrated in the two hills. We did 3,100 feet of ascent.
Good
So
Lord.
anyways, all right, my lifetime miles is... Where's my stats? Here we go. Lifetime miles. 11,694.
And that's lifetime from when you did Strava. Who knows what you had before that?
That's since 2017.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's been a while.
So about 7 years. I did 11,500 miles.
That's easy as hell.
So, I mean, there's
How far is 11,000 miles? I mean, is that like around the Earth?
No, it's not.
What's around the Earth?
I think it's 26,000.
No, that's crazy as hell.
Well, here, I don't want this to turn into the running.
How far is it from Pennsylvania to California?
What?
How far is it from Pennsylvania to California?
Oh, it's not even that. From like here.
Well, I know it's not that.
From my house to LA is directions. Oh my God, come on. Here we go. Anyways, while I'm waiting for that to load, I can't figure that out right now. It's a pain in my ass.
Okay.
No, not that. I was doing something else. All right, so from here to Los Angeles is from here to LA is this is loading really fast. 2,500 miles.
So, like 5, maybe 6 times from there and back, there and back, there and back, there and back, right?
Yeah.
That would be a little bit much. There and back. Yeah. So
I do know that I have mapped it across from my house, and I'm already past. Like I think 2 years ago I crossed the southern tip of South America in total miles from my house, which is like I'd be on my way to the South Pole now if I kept going straight down. So, anyways,
oh my God.
I'm a martyr for buying myself new things because I don't know, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about, WB Mason. Have you seen those trucks driving around?
Yeah, I don't know what they do.
They do office paper. For the longest time, I thought they sold animal crackers.
Why?
Because
how they're painted.
The trucks look like animal cracker boxes.
They look like something from the circus. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
like
right.
I thought that. I honestly, probably until even a couple years ago, here I am, 30-something years old, and I thought that they were. I didn't know what the brand was, and I just see the trucks. I'm like, oh, it's animal crackers, something like that. But no, they sell office paper they sell office supplies like paper and stationery and things like that.
You said animal crackers. You didn't say anal crackers, right?
What?
It sounded like you said anal crackers.
Animal crackers.
Animal.
No, I don't know what that is, but I don't want that.
No, that's what it sounded like you said, man.
I said animal.
Okay.
Animal, just to
You
clarify.
said real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So those trucks are cool though because it's got that old art on it, kind of like what we have on some signage around our city. And it's a cool brand when you see it because it's like they've kept that like old school style look to their brand. I don't know, it's kind of neat. So, anyways, that's enough about all that. What have you been working on, or what do you got to talk about?
Man. Well, I'm doing this. We've already talked about this before. I wasn't as far along, but I am now hand painting the windows and all the detail trim. Not the windows themselves, but the mullions of the windows, but the framework around the windows of this train station, this Bonn train station that I have. Vollmer, I think it's a Vollmer kit, and that I bought and redoing. I bought it, beat the shit. It was all three or four pieces. I was all busted up. I talked about this. I reassembled the thing, really glued a lot of it back together. Got all of it back together, and I bought this kit like dirt cheap. It wasn't in bad shape, other than the freaking walls and stuff were like not broken, but separated or unglued. And it was like 3 sections, and it was like just the plastic. And I talked to you about this before. I wanted to repaint this thing, but I was thinking about changing the color scheme on it. But I asked you, and you agreed with me that it would look awesome in the original color scheme, just totally repainted.
Yeah.
Okay, because it does look good. It does pop.
Plus, it has a cool color.
It does. It's a brownstone with like a ochre yellow brick, you know?
Yeah.
And not quite as bright. The plastic was all molded plastic colors. The downside, and this is what a lot of people because people don't read fucking posts when you put them on your Facebook. They don't read the story. Okay, they just look at the pictures. Oh, there's pictures. You should disassemble all that. You should have painted that before you assembled it. Well, I bought this thing freaking assembled. Okay, so the guy did an okay job of gluing the windows and stuff in. Okay, whoever it was, he's probably dead now because I think it was his wife that sold it to me. I think she was getting rid of his crap. But his people don't read the post, okay? So they don't read anything, period. It's not just this hobby. It's everything. People generally don't read. They just want to visually look at things.
Yeah, that's just people's scrolling brain.
Right. So like, I don't know how many people said, oh, why I would paint it first before I assembled it. Well, if you read the damn story, you can see that the windows were already glued in. Now, on these kits from Volmer, when they put the windows in, they're real thick, giant, one long piece that's already pre-molded to fit like 8 windows. And you just fit it in from behind, right? And then glue it on. It's been glued together for so long on the back of the window openings for the glass that's supposed to go in. Yes, I would have loved to have been able to pop that out. But if I pop that out, I'm going to break this in pieces, little pieces that can't be repaired, or it will or the windows themselves will crack, and then which will be fine. I could just put I could just put some kind of acetate plastic over top of them or whatever. But it's not. But I'm not doing that. I can't. I don't want to break this thing apart. I want to make it. I want to rebuild this thing and make. I want to. It's, how people rescue pets?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start trying to do some of this more and more. I'm going to start rescuing buildings,
Yeah.
Rescuing models and take something that somebody built, preferably reasonably well. And I'm going to try and rebuild them and repaint them. And that's what I have to do here, So I'm in the process of painstakingly painting all the details, the detail trim, on the outside of the building. And there's a lot of it. I didn't even do the back half of this building. I'm still working the front half, doing the windows. Now, I had some downtime this last week where I wasn't really working at my bench a whole lot. There's some sections that are plastic that I am going to leave plastic, like the white actual window frames, in the inside, because again, it's very intricate and delicate. I'm going to touch them up because some of them are like yellowed from the plastic yellowing, and I'm going to take some titanium white paint and touch up some of the spots where it is yellowing from age, so it doesn't look like that anymore. But the white actually makes it pop. I thought about, because the actual bond station on the window frames, or the mullions and all that separate the window panes, they are actually like now it's brownstone around them with the stonework, but the inside is more of a like a very, very deep, dark brown or chocolate. On the actual building, because I went and researched the building a little bit, and all the photos show that. The downside of that is I painted one window like that just to see what it looks like. Because it's brownstone on the stonework, it kind of looks stupid on the model with brown windows around. That's probably why they made them white. It hides it, and then you won't really see. There's no pop. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no pop. And so I'm leaving them white, and I think it looks awesome the way it is. And but it's been a lot of work. And then once I get this detail part painted, I will go through and touch up any brick and stuff where you got a little bit too much paint. It kind of bled onto the bricks or whatever. I'll touch up every little detail part, and then I will begin painting the base and the roof, or the base with the foundation. It's got like a stone foundation all the way around it with a loading platform. I'll paint that all in a concrete color. That won't take any time at all. And then I will touch up and paint the roof and weather it up just a little bit. It's coming along. I'm enjoying it. It's starting to look pretty cool. That's the dog. He's laying on one of his toys under the workbench. It's one of his squeaky toys, and I guess he's sleeping, but he must have rolled over it and made it squeak. So I'm working on that. I have taken the Magnuson model that we're going to make molds of the walls. Okay, remember we talked about that as well.
Yep.
And it's a Magnuson model. It was done in some kind of a weird yellowish resin. It smells like ass. It smells like mothballs, but it's not mothballs. It's the plastic, the resin that they made this out of back in the day. Okay, and it's in a brown box, the old original Magnuson model box. This is the hotel thing that they have. Let me grab that real quick. But I pulled it apart. Let me pull this down. I'm gonna open it so I can torture myself by smelling it some more.
Why not?
And the Victoria Falls Hotel. Okay, the Victoria Falls Hotel. I bought it at a train show at the expo actually. In the way back in when the last expo was in Albany, New York. And there was somebody that was there, and he was selling. He sells all the great model kits that are out there, the popular ones.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the fine scale models. The craftsman models, and then he has some Magnusons and stuff. So, I'm pretty sure that's where I got this. Well, it was either there or at the show in Timonium. I'm not sure. Anyhow, yeah. Whatever that smell is that they made this stuff out of, when they did it, when they molded this and produced it in the resin, the window openings were not open. They have like a thin flash, the flash.
Yep.
It covers the whole window.
Yeah, it's part of the process when they make them.
Yeah. So now I have to go through and cut out every bit of that flash out of every window.
No, boy.
I did the one whole wall. And that's a storefront on this thing. And these are big walls. So I'm trimming them up and cleaning them up as best as I possibly can, getting that flash up, making them look nice before we start casting a rubber mold or a silicone mold for these to reproduce the walls. I'd like to make a silicone mold. I'm thinking I bought that rubber mold stuff, and that's fine. But I want to make these walls in resin, with liquid resin, and you can buy that shit at Michael's or Hobby Lobby in bigger containers.
Yeah, they even have it on the Amazon, even cheaper.
I'm afraid if I make it from the latex rubber mold, that resin is going to stick into the rubber mold, and we won't be able to get it out.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to buy some of the silicone stuff to make my own silicone mold of each wall. And then we will start reproducing it and making large size buildings, much like you see on the backside of Franklin, South Manchester. When I was up there, I talked to George, asked him about how he did that. And he said that he made molds of that particular model and then put them all together, glued them all together, painted it.
Yeah.
He said how much it weighed. He said it took a bunch of people to put it up. Now I don't want it to weigh that much. That's why I want to go with resin. Otherwise, it would be a lot cheaper to do it with plaster, I'm sure. But yeah, with resin walls, it'll be lighter weight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make them as big as he did. Holy shit! It won't look natural to the size of our layout. But I'm going to make them at least 2 or 3 times the height of the current model, okay, of the actual original Victoria Falls Hotel. So I cleaned that up. I've also opened up 2 other models that I'm going to be working on a lot of things at one time. I got this big train station, and I got to let things dry from time to time. And then I also need to give myself a metal break from having to paint all this trim, okay. And if I sit here just endlessly doing that, I'm going to drive myself nuts, and I'm not going to want to sit here and do this.
Right.
So I open up a Mitsubishi Asex M5 5A Zero Fighter. It's a Japanese Zero plane used in World War II. And that's a Tamiya model. So I've started opening that and going through it, reading the directions, and getting myself familiar with that. I did sand and trim some of the parts and cut a couple pieces off of the sprues. I also have done the same kind of thing with another model. I'm going to start 2 models, and that is USS Arizona. It's a Revell kit that I got over at Hobby Lobby for like when they run their 40% off sale.
Yeah.
Uh, I got the model for like $12.
Dang.
It's a full battleship. I want to try a battleship, and they look cool. I built one long time ago, and I'm going to definitely do one. So, anyways, I got that out and familiarized myself with that kit and that model, working that as well. So I'm going to have a lot of projects on the thing. I also have my 1/35 scale diorama I'm still working, and I haven't gotten to that yet. I don't want to put that too much on the back burner because I really am enjoying that. It's been a full year since I started it, with those buildings and the actual M8 patrol vehicle.
Yeah.
It's been a full year since I started this project with that. So I'm going to definitely keep that on the front burner along with that and the station are my primary things. But since we're inside and it's wintertime and you're not getting out as much and doing as much because it's cold and miserable, right? Most of the days. Like today's beautiful. And it's kind of a shame that we're inside here right now doing a podcast. But there's going to be a lot of days throughout the next month and a half or 2 months, 2 months probably, 2.5 months, that we're going to want to be indoors doing stuff and
at least till April, because I don't like March either. March kind of sucks. So
March always sucks. Yeah. You get the occasional 1 or 2 days out.
Yeah, but they're muddy then. It's muddy.
Yeah, that's muddy.
It's like you can't even walk in your yard in March because it's just cool. It's nice. It's nice out, but now my feet are covered in mud.
Yeah. And you know me, I like to go to Gettysburg and battlefields and places like that and explore.
The other thing,
you're right, it's muddy. You go out there, it's just horrible.
Yeah, and it's always March is always windy. Why? It's always like, why is it always 40-mile-an-hour wind around here in March? What is happening?
Right, man, it's true. By the way, prayers going out to the people with the wildfires that are going on right now out in California. That's pretty. We'll leave it at that, but they have my thoughts and prayers. So,
that's wild.
But wild it is, and so it's. But the weather does play a factor on how much modeling we get done. I mean, it does, and I'm not exactly as much of an outdoor guy as I used to be as I'm getting older, but I still like to get outside and do some stuff.
Yeah,
and, even sit outside on the porch, it's fine. And you ever do that? You take your shit out on the porch, and go, you know what? I'm gonna sit there at the table.
Never.
I'm gonna do some modeling.
I've never done that.
And you get out there to do it, and and you're sitting there, and it's like too bright. It's like the sun's out, even on the shade of the porch and stuff with it, it's still bright and boring. I don't know. And it's nice out. I don't want to sit there at the table and model. I tried it, and it's just I'm too easily distracted. I'm like my dog when I take him out to do his business and he sees a squirrel and he can't concentrate on his business. I'll be sitting there in that chair and I'll see a squirrel and that's it. I'll put the paintbrush down. The next thing I know, I pick the paintbrush back up and the freaking paint's dry, right? So I can't sit out there and work, and so it's got to be indoors for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what's going on with me, and I'm enjoying it. I got a couple beefs today, but 2 beefs. But before we do, I thought maybe we would I put on both our Facebook page and our Wiley's Build Cool Stuff page. I put up for some questions, and I thought maybe we go to that, and I'm going to do my best and attempt to read them for a change.
Okay. I can't wait for this.
We don't have too many. On this one, we have 2 questions on the one from Build Cool Stuff.
This will be more entertaining than the actual questions as you reading them.
Well, this is from our buddy Ron. Kleiss, who was one of our guests recently, a couple times actually. He says, "What are you guys using for your backdrop?" So,
well, right now, the shiny insulation on my basement walls.
Insulation.
We will put up a backdrop though. I'm not sure
We
yet.
are putting backdrop.
I might
do building.
It might be cool to paint one too.
There's some really nice city ones out there, dude, that I was looking at recently.
I know. Okay, never mind.
But I don't want to paint one. Screw that. I'm not Jason guy.
I was gonna channel my inner Bob. I was gonna channel my inner Bob Ross and paint one.
Then if you want to, that's fine. Then when we're done laughing at it, we're gonna get I'm just kidding you.
That's offensive.
We are going to do. We're definitely going to do some building flats, and that's basically what I was talking about there with the Victoria Falls Hotel. But then, of course, I want to put a backdrop on Of City. They make some really cool ones. I'll send you links to them. I found some too on there's a guy who has some excellent ones. He gets good ratings from them. He is on. They're basically big city building backdrops.
Well, and we're gonna have to make sure we have a different backdrop towards the other side because we do want to have a country.
Right. And we'll do that too. You can paint that with your clouds and stuff and do your Bob Rossi thing.
Thank you.
But yeah.
You know what? It would be a funny video is if I got like an afro wig, and I sat in front of the wood that I was gonna paint it on or whatever. We put it on, and I did like the backdrop painting with Brett, but it'll be like in the Bob Ross style. Be like, all right, guys, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna put a nice light blue background on here, and then we're gonna, we need some wispy clouds, kind of like cotton candy when you pull it apart, and when do a funny video like that.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would maybe be interested in trying something like that myself. But
I think it could go.
Jason man.
It could turn south.
You can do that stuff. I'm not that. I don't do fine art. That's not my thing.
It could turn south quick.
Yeah, I do. I'm a 3D art guy. The visual 3D art type of thing. And, outside of that,
no problem.
It's just my thing. So
yeah.
Putting paintbrush to paper is different than putting paintbrush to a model. But anyhow, it's yeah.
All right. What's the next question? We'll do a backdrop. We'll probably not paint it, but that's okay.
Well, the next question is also from Ron. He said, "If you can have only one type of paint, is it acrylic or oil based?"
Acrylic.
I'm 100% acrylic, he says, although I would definitely miss some of the old oil-based weathering products. I hope this question doesn't cause Todd to start twitching. I understand his paint obsession. I do love acrylics.
I would pick acrylics if I had to only pick one type of paint, just because they're the easiest to work with and clean.
But, exactly, and don't get me wrong. Most all of my paint is acrylic. I love the acrylic paints. They're fun to work with. They're easy to thin down, and they're easy to clean up. They're less toxic. The coverage on some of the acrylics that are coming out now from some of these newer companies are just mastered. Okay, just really, really well. Good coverage right off the bat. Once you primer, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm talking about the tough colors to get coverage on. Okay. Like yellows and whites.
You know what else is getting better with acrylic?
What?
Is the metallics.
Yes.
Did you ever buy the acrylic metallic paints from like Michael's or Craft Store? Old apple barrel ones, and they're so streaky and crappy. But the new acrylics, especially the specific ones for model are, like what's the one I use here a bunch? The gunmetal from Ammo.
Oh, Ammo's metal is awesome.
And
They have
it only
the paint's called
sometimes it only takes like one coat.
Yeah,
and it's perfect.
All the Ammo metals are awesome. They're very, very good. I've also had good luck with the metals from. Now that's for airbrush for the Model Air. Yeah,
I still use
Vallejo.
I still use the Vallejos with a brush sometimes too.
The Vallejo with the brush is great, but they make two different types. They have Model Color.
Yeah, no, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about, but Model Air.
Or either Model Air, you can use them with a brush too. They're tougher with a brush.
I do all the time.
Yeah, they're tougher with a brush. The airbrush are awesome. Okay, because they're just like perfectly mixed. I don't have to put a lot of crap. I don't have to mix a lot of, thinner with them or anything. They're ready to go. But Model Air has some good stuff. I've had good luck with that. But then also there's a thing made by Ammo called A-Stand. A-Stand. Okay, and they make a lacquer-based metallic lacquer. It is good for metals and stuff when you spray it from a airbrush. It's like, if you're a model car person, that would be awesome. If you want that kind of finish on your vehicle, that's the best. That's the best there is.
Huh.
And as far as that goes, I mean, I'm talking about if you're trying to get some wider coverage out of it.
Yeah.
But he mentioned the oils. The oils are great too. And I don't use them nearly as much, but like he said, for weathering, for effects, also all of your, enamels. I don't use enamels for anything other than like the special effects stuff, rust and dust and all the stuff from AK, and that's all those things that are enamel. Your streaking grimes and stuff like that. They're once you learn how to work the effect, there's nothing better.
Right.
There's nothing better as far as that goes. They have mud and splashes and just all that crap. Filters. So you're talking with enamels that are going to give you effects like shadowing and filters, that type of thing. You're going to get with enamels, and they will enhance. You put them over top of your enamels. Over your acrylics. They enhance your acrylics. That's especially the filters and the shadows, the shaders. Any of your shaders and filters, they're made to put over top of the original base coat of an acrylic, and give you, once you learn how to apply them, give you a varying shades and different light, the way the light hits at different places. It's contrasting.
Yeah.
Different spot in your model, especially on a bigger model. But acrylic by far is is the go-to for without a question. All right, let's go to the other. I got a beef on paint, by the way, so we'll get to that.
Beef paint.
Beef. Yuck. I better smell.
It's beef-based paint.
Beef paint. Mm-hmm. So let's see. All right, here we go. I got one comment. So I already put these up like 15 minutes before we were.
Yeah, next time we'll put them up a little earlier.
All right. So Matthew here says he's a good guy. He says, "What do you think more?"
Some say he's a fun guy.
All right. Matthew says, "What do you think? What do you think of more kit manufacturers doing how to build videos in the vein of Jason Jensen? I can't think of any reason why not. It would save printing costs. No need for 12-page manuals. Only some templates. A little bit of text with paint. glue suggestions, etc., signage, and a few color photos. It would save them time also by not having to print, fold, and package in a book. Holy cow, we wrote a book here.
So
in their kits, I built a couple of Jason's kits just by building along with the video and pausing where needed.
I think
it a very nice experience.
I think as a kit manufacturer, there's a couple advantages, and Ron's doing it too. He was talking about that on the podcast. He's doing videos on his website. You can find them in his YouTube channel.
And these are two of the best at doing directions on their kits to begin with.
But here's the thing. So, and this isn't even in just modeling, in anything that you can instruct someone to do. Like I do it at work with IT stuff and computer-related issues. If I notice people are having problems with a specific thing, I'll just hop on and do a screen recording of how to fix it or how to do a process. And then I put it on, I have like a private YouTube channel for work that I'll put the video out. We have our own training website, and I'll put those videos up on there. And people love that because they're not getting these written instructions, and they can't pause the video as they're going along the way and like look for that button you talked about, and they can just do it right there as they're watching you do it. I love the idea for the kit manufacturers to do that because the same thing, like when you're reading the instructions, sometimes even the best kit manufacturer might have a hard time conveying a point through a written instruction or conveying a process, trying to explain how they're doing something. But how hard is it to show someone on a video? We've all done it with modeling stuff, and we've all done it probably with things around our house too. Like, hey, how do I reset my microwave clock? Oh, there's a YouTube video on it. Like, boom, 5 buttons, it's reset. Or, hey, wonder what he's talking about with this technique he's talking about for whatever, for my kit. And then along the way, this is any kit manufacturer out there, you should do this. This is a good idea. And if you need help learning how to make them, shoot me a message and on Facebook or text me, and I'll send you a link to show you how to do it quick. Make a QR code and put them in your instructions.
Yeah.
And then if someone is having a difficult time trying to figure something out, or they just want to see it, you could say, hey, here's what I want. Here's how you do this part of the build or this whatever technique. But if you want to watch me in a video, scan this QR code with your phone, your camera app, and I'll show you how to do it. And you could do it step by step. And then that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to have the people that like to read and they want to read the whole thing and they got to read it. Because there are people out there that would rather read the instructions. But then the other part of it is the people who are visual who can't, I don't mean you can't read, but the people who are visual and they can't as easily pick up the process. Like I'm a visual learner. I got to look
at visuals too sometimes. I think that's a given.
Right, but some people's brains are, like my brain's wired differently. I don't want to read instructions, but I will watch a 10-minute video on how to do something and then go do it myself. It's the same, and I'm getting the same information, or I'm getting to the same end result, but I have to consume it if I don't know how to do something, I won't be confident in doing it until I see someone do it, not just read it. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I could do that. And then I do it. Yeah. So I think you need to strike a happy medium when you're writing instructions. Ron does it with his, and he has his videos we talked about. He's doing them on his site now, where you have to have some written instructions. I think you'd get a lot of, you'd probably get a large percentage of your customers if you sent a kit and it had no instructions in it, and you had a little card, and you had a card that said, watch my video to show how to build this. You'd get a lot of people that were happy you have that, but you'd get a bunch of people that are like, I need instructions. Like, I want you to show me. I want a written thing too. So I don't think the videos will get rid of instructions completely.
No.
But I do think it's a cool way to complement the work that you're doing. And I'm firing off on a rant on this one for you. The other thing that you can do is, and this is kind of a sales thing, so take it for what it is. It gives the kit manufacturers an opportunity to sell additional things, or even maybe partner with other manufacturers. Like, I'm going to use a really, really rough example, and I'm not loyal to either brand. I just think it'd be cool to see this. Is what if you had a scenario where, and I'm going to actually not even use real brand names. I'm going to make up brand names, but you're going to know who I'm talking about. So you have a kit manufacturer, XYZ Craftsman kits. That could be any Craftsman kit manufacturer that we talk to or that's out there in the world. They're making kits, and the picture of the front of the kit on the box or the packaging looks really badass. It always looks really awesome. But in the instructions, you're teaching them how to do that and make it look that way, right?
Yeah.
Then they could then work with XYZ stain company. We will call them I was gonna make up a fun name. The Stain Company. You could work with them and say, "Hey, would you mind if I included your product in my video? Because that's what I use to make this cool looking building. And hey, while I'm at it, I'm gonna throw a link in my video. And if we work together, we could throw in a code and say, hey, here's how I made this building this color, or I weathered it this way. If you want that product, you can go over this URL, put it in the video, and say, enter code." My kit manufacturer name when you're checking out, and you'll get 10% off at Stain while you're at it too. So now you could sell kits, and you could end up helping other manufacturers that aren't your competition sell their other things to make your kit look better.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I think that's great.
It's like my marketing brain firing off with like digital media, because what that all that is just connecting the modeler with more resources. And you don't have to buy the stain, or you don't have to buy that weathering product, but you could, because if you want to mimic that look, or maybe you don't have that weathering product or whatever it is, you could go, oh, you know what? I like that look. I want that. So then you get on there and you enter the promo code, you get 10% off that thing, and it shows up, and you can do it exactly how Jason or Ron or Doug or any of those guys do those kits. I think that's a genius idea. And when you're partnering with those other companies, well, shit, they're not going to care, because you're using their product in a video of people who are captivated by what you're showing them how to do with their product. Like, that's huge. That'd be huge. You would not only, and I'm trying to not make it sound like it's a sales thing, but those companies would sell more stuff, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying they will, but they have the opportunity to sell more stuff, and they're getting exposure to new products too. So like the kit manufacturer could work with them and say, hey, I got a new color we're coming out with. I want you to do that in your video. If you don't mind, we'll send you some, we'll work on it. And like you set up a whole process of just getting people familiar with other products. 'Cause there's a lot of them out there that people probably don't know about if they're just getting in, especially if they're just getting into kit building.
Okay.
Sorry, I went off on that, but like, I think that's
you do, and that's brilliant. It's a great idea. I
think
love that.
that's a fantastic idea.
It's not just talking about just helping the manufacturer who makes a kit, or just or helping the vendors that sell the product that help make that kit. But you're helping a modeler.
Well, they're learning a new technique too.
Learning a new technique,
or
learning about the products,
and not even
about
the tools you use. Maybe they don't have that. Like, maybe they don't have great paintbrushes, and they're like, you know what? They're using that paintbrush. I don't have a double-aught tiny paintbrush, but I need one for whatever. I need to get some new paintbrushes, or I need to. So really, all you're doing is just exposing people to, even your best modelers. You're putting them in front of more information. So I think anytime, Ron, you have the Matt, to have the opportunity to do more or anytime you have the opportunity to provide more information to people, like that's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, you know, and it's, I'm going to tell you, when I watch YouTube videos, and I watch a lot of them on how to different things, okay, because I do different kinds of modeling. But I got to tell you, the best ones out there are the ones that when I'm done watching that thing and I'm going, that was one cool ass product he used. I wonder where he gets that. And you go to the show notes on that, and I don't know how many times I've done it. And I'll go to the show notes. A lot of the stuff, the tools and things I have, I got those ideas or bought those products from like their links to the vendors that sell their products that help me get the tools and equipment I need to make that work. Okay. Or, and it's fun, Yeah. It's fun to wait for that product to come in the mail and go, oh, I can't wait to sit down and try that. Right. But I can't tell you how many different modelers I've had in the armor modeling, in the game figurine models, that type of thing, minis and things. And then, of course, even model railroading structures and stuff like that. Any of those guys that have good YouTube channels out there, you go and they have the links to the products a lot of times in their show notes. When you hit notes or more, a drop down will come up and have all the links, and you go, oh, I want to check that out. Where do you get that product? The good ones will put that on there, and you'll be able to find where they bought it from. A lot of times they're Amazon links. We also have put Amazon links up for things. We don't do it to sell. I could care less. We're not going to make shit off of that, right? We do it simply because I want to show other modelers that, hey, this is a cool product.
Yeah.
This is what I use to get the results I want. That's exactly what you were talking about with those guys that are building the kits.
Yeah.
I love the idea that Jason and those guys make videos to show how to build the product, okay, how to build their kits. I think that's an awesome thing. I love your idea with the QR codes. That's really cool.
Yeah, because that can just jump straight to that specific video, or even, and you can even do a QR code that jumps to a timestamp within a longer video.
Right. Now, I do think, this is on the reverse side of that, I do think that it's important not to do away.
No, I don't think
Matt
you can.
said about saving on printing. No, because I still think you need to have the printed manual. Okay, it may not have to be quite as detailed, but I do still think that there needs to be printed. There's times where even if I watch it on video, looking at it, going, you watch it over and over and over again, and goes, let me read it.
Yeah, so well, there's that, and then there's also like the piece of paper that has like where to put your trim. The card that shows you where the trim and support goes. You need to print those. Those are easy to have as a reference. So,
right. And then look at it and go, am I even missing a part? Right? Because we know that shit happens. It does. But a part forgets to get put in or whatever. That kind of thing happens with anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this, looking at that paper to show you what parts you need to have or where they exactly go, that's important too, to know, hey, you know what? It says that I need to put this here, but that's not here, right? So that's good too. Like I said, I think it's an awesome idea. I really do.
Yeah.
So
all right,
that's it for the questions.
Let's get into your rant.
I got 2 rants. So the first rant is hobby knives. All right. This is the most frustrating shit I was thinking about the other day. Hobby knives. Now, I got all kinds, Brett. I got X-Acto knives in different kinds. They had the ones that had the rubber grip handles, and it has a square box, like a square nut on the back that keeps it from rolling on your desktop. That's a brilliant idea, by the way. And then I have your standard hobby knife from X-Acto or whoever makes an Excel X-Acto. And I love the fact that they have I don't understand it. They have the regular X-Acto knife that's silver. We all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they have another one that's silver, but it has a gold.
I have that one.
It has a gold. It's textured at the very end.
Yeah, the thing it shreds your fingers.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah,
it's gold.
It's like a cheese grater for your fingertips.
But it's no different than the silver one. It's just gold, and so they charge you like $2 more, right? It's the dumbest shit. And it got a blade in it that's supposed to be gold-edged blade, right? And it is, okay? And it doesn't last any longer than any of the other blades, okay? But that's not my rant, okay? I've got hobby knives from X-Acto. I got hobby knives. They make some really decent ones. I guess they're decent. From Fiskars, the people that make the scissors and shit like that for sewing.
Yeah. They
make some hobby knives. 2 of those things. I got a Fiskars hobby knife that has it's. Anyways, all of them. There's a million different kinds. All the brands have different features.
Can I guess what the complaint is?
Yep.
The blades always get loose.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Am I right?
That's my beef. They've been that much pressure on it, right? I don't have to be using it a whole lot, and the blade slips out when you're working it, and then you got to put it in and retighten it, and then, you're like, oh, I got it now, right? I got it now. I fixed it now. I made it really super tight. And then you're working it for like 5 minutes, and the next thing you know, it slides out again. Yep. I hate it. I can't believe all the technology. We made cars that you can charge at your house. Okay.
Elon Musk catches a rocket with a robot arm.
Yes. We have.
But I can't keep my X-Acto knife blade from falling out.
Yes, I can watch I can run my whole life off of a fucking telephone. Okay, but I can't keep an X-Acto knife blade into this thing, and it's not any technique that you're doing. So it's the product.
My question is with that is there's that slot in the back of the blades.
Yeah.
That little hole.
Yeah. What's that for?
Why can't they make a piece that like that hole goes over like a little nub or a rod, and then you tighten it, and it doesn't. Guess what? Because now it's tightened, it doesn't pull forward.
Yeah, I thought that would be what the hole's for. If you look down into the damn knife itself, into the handle, there's no thing that goes in that hole.
No.
The damn blade just slides in the hole.
Yeah.
I don't know what the freaking hole's for. Weakening the blade. Maybe that's why the goddamn thing snapped. Okay, don't do that. Just make somebody out there make a freaking knife that doesn't lose the blades. The blade comes out only when you unscrew it and remove it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the only time it should come out. Okay?
I agree.
That's my number one beef.
All right, what's your second one? That's a good one.
Second beef. Been talking to some modelers lately. Okay, some other modelers in different parts of the hobby world. They're not necessarily in model railroading, but they are talking about the price of we're talking about paints again, Ron, but the product of the little tiny itty bitty bottles that we buy of the acrylic model color paint or ammo or AK, the little I guess they're 17 milliliters or 0.57 fluid ounces, and they're small, and they're bitching. These people I talk to are bitching about the fact that they would never pay that much money for that kind of bottle or that small of a bottle of paint. They use craft paint, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I like craft paint too, and I got lots of it, and I've used it for almost all the models. There's still a lot of the models that are sitting down there on our layout, okay? I'm not against craft paint. I got plenty of the key colors that I need here, okay? But you're not getting screwed by buying one of these little bottles.
No, I don't think so.
Tell you why. But the number one, the paint flow. I don't have to piss around with a whole mess of too much thinning this stuff out or watering it down a little bit, okay? Because it's already a thin base product, okay? It's already a scale paint. It's a scale paint. We do what's called scale modeling. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fine scale modeling, whatever the hell you want to call it. Okay? These paints are scaled. And if you don't believe that, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry, you're just an idiot if you don't believe they are scaled down. Okay? Craft paints are great for their scale. Okay? To a degree. But when you put them on, they go on thick, heavy, and globby sometimes. You will hide detail with craft paints, okay, at some point. They have to be thinned, and they have to be thinned. You got to know how to thin them. And I understand that you can make that work, okay? I'm not against anybody on this, okay? I'm not trying to bust on craft paints. But don't sit there and tell me that these little bottles of paint aren't good. Because you're spending too much money on little tiny bottles of paint. You don't get hardly anything in them, they say. Well, that's not true.
They last me an eternity.
I've been painting this freaking giant train station. I went out and bought a couple bottles of the color I'm using, by the way, for the brownstone is mahogany brown by Monocolor. I went out thinking, this is a huge model. I'm going to need a couple bottles of this paint. I painted almost all of this, both with an airbrush and now hand painting, and I still have, I don't know, 3/4 of this bottle. Okay, and the first bottle. And now I may get through this bottle on this. It's a big bottle. Okay, but I thinned it down and put it in an airbrush to spray the big sections. Okay, it didn't hardly use any of that. By the way, when you use an airbrush, if you're using an airbrush at all, it comes out as, it comes out in a vapor type spray, right? So it's like when you run water through a high pressure washer at your house. To wash the side of your house or your car. It's coming out. You're using not a lot of water, but you're getting a good coverage. Okay, and well, in that case, it's coming out powerful. But in this case, it's putting the coat on perfectly. Okay, and you're hardly using any paint at all. So thinning it down. After I was done painting all the pieces I needed with the airbrush on this, I still had a ton of paint left that I had mixed with I did thin it a little bit for the airbrush because you need to thin some of this paint. Mm-hmm. I had enough left over that I bought empty bottles of this. These little tiny bottles. I bought empties with the lids and everything, like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Off of Amazon, whatever. I think it was Amazon. And you buy empties so you can refill your bottles with the
you gave me some
you
too.
Don't use. So I took all the extra and I put it into a bottle to use later, and so it's not going to go to waste. Sealed it back up, and now I got more paint. Mm-hmm. So they do last a long, long time. Okay, here's the other thing that I can tell you about these smaller bottles compared to the larger bottles of craft paint. In a year from now, I can open up this bottle, and generally, I've run into very few bottles that get gooked up and hardened up, okay, and ruined or gummy.
Yeah, it's very rare.
It's very rare. If I open up a craft paint bottle, sometimes even within 9 months or less, I've run into bottles that were brand new and I've only had for 9 months or less that I'm having to throw in my trash can. Because and my house is at a controlled temperature inside here, so I'm not working at we're not working where they're going to dry out with high temperatures.
Yeah.
Okay. They are gooked up, gunked up, and thrown away. Now, like I said, I do use craft paints for quite a bit of stuff. I'm not knocking them, and they are awesome pricing. But what's the pricing used to be? Now that's the other thing. People say, "Oh, well, you get those things for less than $1." Tell me where the fuck you're getting this for less than $1? Because nobody's got them for less than $1 anymore, people. Even Walmart's got them for $1.25. Okay, so you can't buy them for. Oh, I buy them for 75 cents. No, sorry, you don't.
Right.
Okay, you're not buying them for 75 cents because now you go to Hobby Lobby or any of those places, you're paying $1.50 up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's another $1.50 because you wanted a specialized paint that's of scale for what you're trying to do and is in your scale. Okay. It's not. So it's not a whole lot of difference in money. Now, don't get me wrong. There is an exorbitant amount of price to be paid for the enamels in some of these products. The ones we were talking about that do the special effects that are running, $8, $9, $10 a bottle. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. But if you want that, you can make some of those. Almost all of those can be done with oils, like Ron was saying about oils. Okay, you can recreate those effects with oil paints.
Mm-hmm.
Have you gone to the craft store and looked at oil paint or art supply place like Hobby Lobby or Michael's
Not
and
recently.
looked at the price of oils?
No.
They're just as expensive. They're expensive. Okay, oils have gotten expensive. Oil paints. Okay, now I can recreate the effect with oil paints without having to buy the AKs or the AMOs or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the enamels. Okay, but it's already done for me. It's already pre-mixed. It's already at the thickness I need it at. It's convenience. You're paying for convenience, and so that's my thing. My beef is don't knock the little bottles of paint. They do the job. If you use them properly, they will last a long time. They will give you great coverage. They do a better job in the lighter colors, like the whites and the yellows that we were talking about. I get better coverage off of those than I do with craft paints on the light colors. It's just how that is.
Yeah.
So that's my beef. I'm sure we're gonna get some backlash on that, but that's people who disagree. That's fine, but there is good product. You're paying for good product. You're getting good product. Now, are all of those different brands of the enamels and acrylics that are made for specialized modeling, fine scale modeling, are they all equal? No. There's ones that are better than others. It's the same in craft paint. Some are better than others. I think Apple Barrel does a great job in craft paint. I think Craftsmart from Michael's does a great job in craft paint. I think that Americana and Ceramcoat does a very good job in craft paint. Do I feel like I've wasted money on a lot of the paints I bought from craft paints? Yes. I've thrown a lot more craft paint away than I have thrown away the finer scale model paint. How about you, Brett?
Yeah, I have, definitely. Yeah.
So, like I said, I'm not ready to crucify the small bottle paint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I'm with you. I agree.
So, that's it. Done.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good one.
Whew.
But, all right, you recovered from that? You're good?
I am.
All right.
I'm all good now.
All righty. Well, hey, we covered a lot. I think we're going to call this one...
over an hour.
Yeah. We're going to call this one an episode here and wrap it up.
Make me a better knife.
Yes. Alrighty. Cool. Well, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in for another installment of Todd rants for 30 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. For the Bench Time podcast.
All
All righty.
right. Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. We will see you on another one.
Peace out.